Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
Hello, it's been a while since I got stuck doing this intro thing. This is Juan, you know, the other Juan. Not the Juan from Dave and Juan. Honestly, I don't know why anyone is listening to these two idiotas. Argentina won the World Cup. You should all be out celebrating until next year. But if you have nothing better to do than listen to these guys, good luck. You can use some. This is Dave and Juan.
Yeah, we're just doing too many funny things before we press record.
Hey, it's all hilarious.
Robbing the people of just extra enjoyment. And 3.
Number 2.
That is followed by 1. Woo! There you go. There you go. America, right off the bat. Did you doubt it? Did you doubt we be back?
Of course not.
Man, look out. America, you're welcome. Absolutely welcome. You are. What are they welcome for?
Just for everything they're about to get.
Man,
Free O charge.
You know what they're about to get? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Thank you. Thank you. It's that surprise Christmas present under the tree. As that one you didn't have a lot of hope for, right? Is that one? Oh, that doesn't look like much. I don't even know what's in that box.
It's light, doesn't weigh a lot. You know,
Yeah.
you're thinking it's just maybe like a prop box.
And then you open it up and it's like, wow.
Whoa.
Wow. There is
How
a
much
Santa
did you
Claus.
pay for this?
Man, there you go. Yeah, this is it. So record this yourself. Give a link to daveandjuan.com. No, don't go there. I think we still have that domain name. We didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Don't go
Dave
there.
and Juan, more time.
Yeah, whatever. Did we have that? I don't even know what.
I don't know, man. Who knows?
There were all kinds of things when we started off. We're like, hey man, we need to do some shirts and we need to do all these other things. And we realized that's just more work. That's just
Right. I'm only willing to do so much for nothing.
right. You forget. Right. You forget. Oh yeah, you got like jobs and stuff that you got to do. But
Right. This cuts into my time of doing nothing. So
I know. And that's your precious time. That's
that's one of my favorite activities.
if we could do this while you were at work, it'd be, it'd be roughly akin to the guy I used to work with who would brag about when he woke up in the morning and really had to go to the bathroom, he would hold it in order to get to work. Because he didn't really care for the boss. So he always said, I want to take on his time. And man,
that's hilarious.
dude, listen, that dude was a senior vice president with the company. And some people, I guarantee you, some folks that know me and know where I was know who I'm talking about. But to this day, it's one of the funniest things I ever, because back in the day when people could smoke inside an office, never going to forget this cat. He was fun to hang around with, but he, man, cup of coffee in one hand, cigarette.
Yeah, no wonder you didn't have to go more often.
Times were different back then, guys. I mean, are you getting that's my other thing too about we do a lot of things remote now, and it's kind of funny the pushback now with a lot of companies I work for, like with and around, where people are waking up to the fact that you can't run the world on this. You can't run a company, and people get all upset and I'm very productive sitting in my pajamas. Really doing everything else but work. So companies are trying to, getting people back into the office.
Right, but I think, and you may have seen the same thing, just an article with some statistics that it's just not the dream that everybody thought it was, or from a productivity standpoint.
It sucks because here's what happened. Okay, let me tell you. Here's what happened when it hit. Okay. And all of a sudden we're all forced to, before we knew. So, and we haven't said this in a while, and I feel kind of remiss, and I'm falling down on the job not to remind everybody out there that everybody's lying. Everyone is lying. Turn on the TV, put on a website. If they're on TV talk, they are lying. So before we totally knew they were lying back in the day, so, we're going to close everything for 2 weeks. We're going to do whatever. And everybody started,
Flatten the curve.
So here's what happens. So there's always going to be, It's like when you're driving a car, even if you slam the brakes on, you don't stop immediately, man. It takes a little while, right? I mean, so you had business kind of built up, you had contracts built in, you had certain things, right? And things don't fall apart overnight, right? So everybody started doing these Zoom things and oh man, this is great. We don't have to go into the office and this is going to be wonderful. And we can share information and we can do. And that goes for a little while. And then people start realizing I ain't got nobody watching me. I ain't gotta do this, that. Where I normally would be in the office for 8. Well, I'm justifying. I could have got caught in traffic today. If I was 8:10, 8:50, everything just gets lax and lax and lax and lax. And meetings, you've been in 1,000 of them. I mean, look, meetings usually most of the information or most of the communication is what's happening on the side. And it's like when you're talking to folks,
Oh,
right?
right.
It's reading facial expressions and body language, and make sure that shoe's awake. You're in a room, you can figure out, hey, somebody wake that Bjork up. You got the
Dude,
Bjorks,
I
you
had
got
a
the
meeting.
shoes.
I had a meeting yesterday that I thought was a Zoom meeting because we do a lot of Zoom meetings, but this one ended up being in person, and I didn't realize it until like 2 minutes before. And so the stuff that I typically would just randomly read off a screen, I now have to do this in person, face to face. I was like so flustered, just like.
Oh wait, you thought you were doing a Zoom meeting
I
at
thought
the
I was
office?
right.
Oh, so
But
you were there. You could actually be in the meeting.
right,
what happened.
right. But the other person who was in the meeting was actually coming to the office. Who's a presentation that we do, and now it's like, oh man, what the heck? I don't even. I've done this 50 times online. I don't know if I've ever done it in person.
I gotta see if
So it's different. It's different.
We kind of lose the touch. Now the flip side of that is, and I get it, and that's what everybody, because there's stereotypes, and one of the stereotypes is true, like how much of time in an office is spent doing nothing. Right, and that's what everybody points to. They're always saying like, oh man, I probably spend 3 hours a day just well, don't brag about that to start off with, right? I mean,
yeah.
right? That's not the kind of thing. You're not trying to justify staying home by how little you actually do when you're in the office. Because I can tell you from past experience before I started my own little, whatever the heck it is I do. When I used to work for, and I was one of the original, in my world, remote workers. I mean, it's been 20 years that I have not been in an office. I mean, I've had offices. It's kind of funny, 2 or 3 different companies. I had an office. They kept the space for me that I rarely use, right? I'd come in every now and then. But I can tell you, man, I don't care what your title is. What's that thing? Not in the room, not in the deal. Man, listen, stuff gets done, decisions get made. You're not there to make a point, or you're not there to stop some out of control stupidity. And so there is something to it, man. But
well, this whole thing, I consider myself really disciplined from a work standpoint, but to sit here and pretend that I'm productive 8 hours a day when there's somebody across from me who could sit down and see, and if there's nobody watching, because here's the other side of that, I waste time at work by when I've got nothing else, and I'm not doing anything. It's not like I'm gonna go shoot the bull with so and so. I'll just sit there and basically stare into space and just think about random stuff. It's not like I'm doing something else. I'm doing nothing when there's people there. So put me on a couch.
Look, that's why. And some of us have jobs that are, I mean, I'm not sure what all of your job is, but with me, it's sort of there's your boss wonders that all the time, right? Right. There's like content, you got to like provide stuff. You got to be, so sometimes it's like, okay, I've got to be in a place doing something, or I've got to produce something that somebody,
right. So I've got deliverables.
Whether it takes me 3 days for that deliverable to get it done, or 30 minutes, it's irrelevant. It's what has to get done. But most folks don't have those kind of jobs. Like you have to, and that's one of the disconnects we have too. And hey guys, I tell you what, I'm just realizing that we're going to just put a certification on this thing, so you can probably get business credits for this episode of Dave and Juan. Because I'm
And
honestly,
you're on winter break. You get
Yeah.
3 credits right
yeah,
here, man.
go back if you've got like college age kids or high schoolers, because we're sharing stuff that they don't teach them in school
Right.
that they need to.
I'll
Um,
sign the papers.
There you go. I saw something while it's again, I'm trying not to be too ADD with this, but I saw something today online. Some college, some legal, I guess it's law college, right? It's, go be a lawyer. And one of the things they advertise right off the top is no LSAT required. Okay. Now believe, isn't LSAT the test you're supposed to take to show that?
I think that's required to get into law school.
I think so.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Well, and I know you got to pass the bar to actually be able to
Yeah.
practice. And they got some very famous people that you could throw out there who just either never passed the bar or it took them like forever to pass the bar. But yeah, so no LSAT. And I'm thinking it's not like our problem is we have too many smart lawyers. I mean, like really, like you're going to lower the standards to get that random piece of paper. And then I guess the next things will be the bar. Well, I don't know why you got to pass the bar.
Oh, that is kind of unfair to people. It's unfair to dumb people.
Why should I be denied my right to sue? Right?
Yeah.
I want some of that.
I should get $150, $300 an hour, whatever.
I want some of that Camp Lejeune money, man. Come on, man. Everybody's getting in on that one. I'd love to have a bill, put me a billboard on I-10 between Lake Charles and coming in from Lake Charles to New Orleans, man. Every billboard, we talked about that before. It's either a casino or a lawyer.
A lawyer. I was talking to a guy who's a pastor at my church, and his son's in the Army. And I asked him if he was coming home for Christmas and stuff, and said, yeah. And I said, well, where's he stationed now? And he said, oh, in North Carolina. And I swear, if it wouldn't have been that this guy was a pastor, I was going to say, tell him to drink the water, man. Tell him to drink the water. Apparently he'll get a lot of money.
I think actually it was if you drank the water before a certain date.
Right.
So unless you got a time capsule, I think they got the water there figured out. They don't have it figured out in Jackson. I think they're still, and I told you that I'm going to, I have to sign the contract today. I'm going to Jackson.
All right.
March 1st, everybody, anybody in the Jackson, Mississippi area, I'll sneak you into I ain't gonna sneak you into nothing. I don't know.
He don't want you there.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the group's going to be. Good people. I like the people that I have interacted with that are asking me to be there. I don't know what the group's going to, what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know what the group's going to look like, but I get to go to Jackson. So hopefully I'm going to bring some bottled water. I'll be, they tell me the crime's pretty, got a buddy of mine who owns some land.
I think especially like in the downtown area.
Yeah.
It's not too far stretch from Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I got a buddy who has land in Mississippi around. I don't know how far, so he pays way more attention to Mississippi than obviously I would. But when I made a comment or something about Jackson, he shot me a text like, bro, and not even like a really joking text, just sort of like, no, I'm serious. If you're going to, there's some towns you don't even think like, I know if I'm going to New York, I'm like, okay, I got to be on. But everywhere is that way now, man. That kind of annoys me. I was in Boise, which is an underrated town. But Boise, Idaho, I'd been there one time before. And I was there this week and didn't have a lot of time, flew in, flights were delayed. It's been a rough week. I'm glad I'm not traveling today. We're filming, we're doing this on a Friday, and I've been listening already this morning. There are thousands of flights that have been postponed and canceled around the country right now with that. Yeah, weather. Of course, now let me reiterate, everybody's lying.
I don't think reiterate is the word, but
Reiterate? What did I say? Reiterate?
I think it's
what I'm looking for. You can reiterate. I just
maybe it is a word. I don't know.
I just
I say enough things that aren't words. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there when somebody else does it.
Oh, I just reiterate. That's good. Well, you know what? Bro, I can make up my own words. Yeah. It's one of those words, you know what it means. I get that all the time. Somebody says something like, I don't think that's the word, but I know what you meant. I reiterate. Well, maybe the act of reiterating is reiterate.
Let me go ahead and stress that again.
Man, no, bro. I learned me some words and I like to use them. All right. we also we get it's one of those things when you're typing stuff or when you're writing stuff, you not kind of know what the word is, and you start, and a lot of times spell check will fix it for you, or right. It's when you're trying to use a word and you can't even spell it close enough. Right? You ever do that? You can't even spell it close enough for spell check to kick in.
I do like, I'll have to do like do it verbally into Google and hope I'm pronouncing it closely enough.
I don't know that they would even understand me, but but
anyway, you were talking about travel.
Well, right. I was reiterating that it's going to be a word by the time this podcast is over, man. That everybody's lying. So you can't really tell, trust me, it is hard to put something in a category with politicians as far as and media that they're lying. Just don't believe any of it. But airlines is right in there, man. Airlines are never straight with you about what's going on. But they're claiming it's weather. I guess it may be. It was when I get home. So I guess I got in yesterday. But it was one of those things. I flew out of Boise, had an evening flight that got delayed. And then again, the weather. I love how they can tell us what the climate's going to do in 50 years when they can't tell you if it's going to snow today.
Tomorrow.
Like, so I woke up as one of those days. I wake up and I'm in Boise and it's, I know it's cold and there's snow, there's snow on the ground everywhere, but it wasn't supposed to snow that day. And I'm getting ready to do my little thing. I'm sort of like early afternoon and in a nice room. And one of it's all windows and start seeing a little snow come down. And I was asking the folks I was with, I said, is that blowing off the building or is that falling out the sky? And then they're like, no, it's not the sky. So, but I look at the weather app. No accumulation, and it'll be like an hour or 2 hours. So I do my spiel, right? When I'm getting ready to leave and I got to walk to the hotel a little bit and get an Uber to go back to the airport. And it hadn't stopped snowing yet. I mean, it was still kind of coming down. I'm like, what? And all of a sudden, what I looked at 2 hours ago, they said, nothing, no accumulation, whatever. And now it's like up to an inch and all day long and weather advisory and like, really? Get there. And then they have to de-ice the plane. Look, I've flown a zillion times and nobody likes to be bumping around in the air. Nobody likes storms. I can't stand any of that stuff. But I still get a little disconcerted. Look that up. I think that's a word.
It is.
When we have to de-ice, right? And it was we just sitting there on a plane and they got to bring out that big hose on the truck thing. And you can just see, and it was the worst kind. It was like a little bit of snow, little bit of precipitation, freezing precipitation, which is the worst.
To pile up and freeze together and make a bigger block of ice.
And you don't want that on your wings. And then I can hear. So I'm sitting on that flight toward the front of the plane, and it's really quiet. Really quiet. And I usually have headsets in, but I wasn't. And I could hear the pilot, man. I could hear the pilot on the radio talking. And he said something like, we're iced up pretty good here. We're going to be, we're getting a de-ice.
Better keep this baby on the ground.
Man, I wanted to go knock on the door and say, shh, shut up, bruh. We don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Turn that down, man.
I'm glad you're aware of the fact that we are iced up pretty bad. I don't want to hear concern in your voice. You know what we want from pilots? We want the thumbs up. It's all good. It's all good. But that's when I knew on the way out there when we were delayed. I guess it was leaving Houston. It's annoying when you get on the plane and we're sitting there, and I wasn't in first class, but I was pretty, I was like a bulkhead close, and we're waiting. And then the pilot says, we're having an instrument issue with the gas. We think we're tanked up, but we can't be because and I'm thinking,
just keep pumping until it flows over the top.
Right? That's sort of my take on this. It's like I think any Cajun could have figured that. Say, bro, give me a stick. Give me something.
I don't need a gas gauge.
Give me something to here's an idea. We're flying 4 freaking hours to Boise's way up there, man. That's a long flight. We're flying a long way over freaking mountains and stuff. Put all the guys in this thing you can fit, you know? But so we're waiting. And then when the flight attendant dude says, well, those of you that want to stretch your legs, you can come out into the jetway with us while we're waiting. They're literally letting us get up and walk around and leave. When they let you walk off the plane.
Yeah, you're not getting back for a while.
Oh, man. You're like, are you kidding me? So I'm hanging out talking to the flight attendant, the guy at the desk who was he was an expert on everything. That's fun. That's fun. I was just coming up on new topics just to hear this guy.
Dude, you are so impressive. I
know
bet you don't know about this.
You ought to be flying this plane. I can't believe that you're the guy that's just scanning the tickets and making sure the jetway works. You ought to be flying one of these things. But we finally got there. And like I said, Boise's a nice, neat little town, man. Neat, big college, college town.
Yeah,
but,
I've heard good things. It's a great place to live.
I don't want to jinx it. It reminded me a touch, much smaller, but it reminded me of back when Portland used to be cool. So Portland used to be fantastic. I used to love Portland. Portland now is a freaking pit. I'm sorry. Hey, friends out there, I'm not good friends. I actually have friends that live around the area, and they know. It's like New Orleans, right? Not hating on New Orleans. Everybody around New Orleans knows. Oh yeah, it's run. It's third world. Still got great things, but it's third world. But no, Boise was pretty good. Things that stress you out. So, and it's weird. This would stress me. So as I'm getting ready, it's on the second floor or third floor, wherever we are. And I can look across the street, and it's a very small street. So, and I guess Boise State must have a lot. I mean, they're in.
Oh, that's why they got the blue football field. That's right.
Correct. Yeah, that's it. That's all anybody knows of Boise. That's the blue football field. So right across from where I am is it's something that a building the school owns, because I can see there's a gift shop, and I'm looking down and they were testing. There's like finals going on, and I'm just see rows of these young men and women, testing. I get nervous watching that, man. I mean, I'm not even
giving them your lucky pen.
I don't carry it in my bag. It's too precious. I don't. I should have waved, but that's one of the first things I did when I got up to, when it's my, I get up to speak. I told everybody, I told them that, I said, I know different things make different people nervous. I'm not nervous about talking to you, you all. I'm nervous that I can look out this window and see people taking a test, man. Cause I know there's some happiness and some sadness and some stress that's being created right there. But I also said, what I'm impressed by is none of these young men or women have ever looked up. Cause I promise you, back in the day when I was taking those kind of tests, I'd have been looking right back at that guy in the window. I'd have been like,
yeah, I've been there just thinking, concentrating, to be distracted.
I'd have held the paper up. You know what?
Yeah,
number three? You got any idea what number 3 is? Let me reiterate. I don't know what number 3 is. But
well, yeah, they apparently don't have the same stress level as you.
They don't.
As I learned this week that, I don't have the same level of concern about weather. Yeah, I like weather. I like keeping up with the weather. I like paying attention to what's going on. Other than that, I tend to forget about it.
We're old guys. That's what we do.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, when, God, they canceled school here like Wednesday.
That was amazing to me.
Yeah,
Man,
canceled Tuesday afternoon, and
these preemptive school cancellations. And it wasn't just Baton Rouge. I think Lafayette.
No, right. And look, I understand. Part of it, I think, is the level of or lack of confidence they have in parents' ability to digest information quickly. And people say, why don't they just wait till the morning to decide? And I'm sitting there saying, how many people you think would drop their kids off at school if you waited till 5 o'clock tomorrow morning to cancel it? You better be there, because there'll be a lot of kids there. But I had one of the people who I supervise. I have people who I've talked about this before, the ones that they go out in the stores and handle all the products on the shelves and stuff. And I get it. Yeah, they're always looking to get out of work. But so as I'm leaving for work on a sunny day that my wife and daughter are home for, because the weather was going to be so treacherous the night before. She called and said, hey, we're kind of worried about the weather. This store looks like it's going to take a long time. So can we come back tomorrow and maybe leave before the weather gets bad? I said, let me back up. Are you asking me, are you wanting this because you think it's going to take you longer than I've allocated time for? Or you want to leave early because of the weather? A little bit of both. I said, well, here's the deal.
Points for honesty.
Yeah, it was supposed to rain last night and be raining right now. It's not happening. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you could leave early because of what might happen. And here's a better plan. If it's going to take you longer than you think and it's raining and you don't want to drive in the rain, just stay inside and work. There's your solution. Just
Man,
get
listen.
it done.
Juan, you're like me. You're a problem solver.
Yeah.
I'm a problem solver. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
How about
Yeah,
here's another way to do it. Just do the work.
Right. You live a mile from the store.
And here's the upside about that. When you're done, you don't got to come back.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah, it's all I don't know. But then yesterday Riley said something about, you saw the weather, it might snow on Christmas. I said, you who was supposed to be off of school yesterday and sat home and got barely any rain are going to trust 10 days of weather.
Well, exactly. Now it's going to get cold. We'll talk about that because we're old guys. But now the weather was.
No, it was, and I was like, I tell you, I have a
rough.
friend who, a friend who is a dear person from North Carolina, who, if ever there's a weather event here, she'll send me a note. Just, y'all okay? Yeah. And I had to stop and think about it. And I said, what happened that she would be checking on me?
Then you just got to go to Facebook and say, look, I'm going to check in safe. Yo.
Because I know people are going to Facebook to look for that.
We need a new rule. We need a new rule on that. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to make too much
I'm wishing harm on you.
I don't wish harm on anybody. But for the most part, y'all, if anybody cares, they know. In other words, if anybody who's truly your friend is concerned about how you're holding up in the rain, whatever, right? They're going to check in on you. You don't have to tell the world. The same thing. I saw that a couple of times yesterday, checking in safe from, and I know where these people, I know where these people live. And I'm like, it wasn't even near you. What are you checking in? You checking in safe because you saw a tornado on TV? I mean, help me out here. What?
Yeah, I don't wish you any harm, but at the moment when I see those posts, I kind of do.
Yes, exactly. Right. And I saw some footage. There was it looked like a tornado touchdown somewhere around either Bro Bridge or Lafayette or something.
They say, well, it not had to be something. They say across the spillway over between Baton Rouge and Lafayette over the I-10 bridge.
Wow. Okay.
I saw videos of people just sitting there, watching it pass by.
Myself, right? And then apparently it looked like something hit. Was it West Jefferson High School? I think I saw that there's some damage
somewhere around there. Yeah, and
I forget exactly where that. Yeah, forget exactly where that is. And I also love that people are just like shocked that a tornado hits New Orleans. Y'all, it's in the South. It doesn't happen all the time, but sure, it's possible. I mean, we had a tornado sometime in the last 20 years. I don't remember when, but mild one thankfully touched down my street.
Oh, they had one a few years ago in Pankerville.
They
knocked the water tower down.
Did it really?
Yeah.
There you go. Well, so anyway, so glad those of you that are safe. I'm thinking they closed schools a day early, right? Back in the day, y'all, this is what would have happened. We'd all been in school, and let's say there was a tornado. You know what we'd have been doing?
We'd all been at your desk.
No. We'd have been at the window, and the science teacher would have been telling us, this is what causes that. Oh, boys and girls, y'all are so lucky. We rarely get to see this. Hurry, come here. Let's go outside. Too many of y'all can't see out the window. We're gonna go outside. Okay, I'm gonna clear this with Principal LaFar. We're gonna go outside and let's go under a tree so we can all watch this. And I'm gonna explain to you how a tornado works. That's what would have happened. That'd happen on the same day. We played Pedro in the morning and marbles in the afternoon or whatever. But yeah, I told you that at the time they didn't let us bring marbles to school anymore because somebody figured out that it was, or somebody thought, you could use the marble bag as a weapon in a fight or something. I mean,
you probably could.
You probably could, but I mean, maybe
But
There's a
that's
lot
why
of things.
kids are soft nowadays, man. You see, back in our day, it took a bag of marbles to scare a kid.
It didn't
Now,
scare us.
ho!
Didn't scare us. It scared the teachers, right?
It might rain tomorrow. Might be
or how
windy.
many of our playground toys, they just got tired of, man, it's always muddy. You know, these kids, they play around this stuff. It's muddy. Let's just cement it. Let's just.
Dude, I was gonna say, forget that rubber mulch stuff.
That's right.
We had asphalt.
Hey, what you gonna do? I mean, these kids, they're gonna play. They get muddy on the merry-go-round. They get muddy. Just put some concrete. Just throw concrete there.
Yeah, we still had the monkey bars, still had the swings that we would jump off of and land on the asphalt. I think I talked about this. The first concussion I ever got was I was running on the asphalt, tripped, and my head landed on the concrete that was in a tire holding up the tetherball pole.
Those are great. That was good ingenuity back in the day. That's good ingenuity. But so yeah, now whatever, we miss school in advance. But so I can't even wait to see what they're going to do next week, because so we're recording this, guys. This will be, I guess, the episode that the last episode before Christmas.
Right before Christmas.
Yeah, we got to see. We might take Christmas off. We may give ourselves a gift and take just and catch up, just because of the way.
I think everybody should give us that gift. You know.
I know. We'll do something. We'll figure out. We'll just But anyway, we'll talk about that later. But so this is the episode before Christmas, and it's supposed to get cold, bro. It's supposed to get
well, they're gonna be off for Christmas next week around here, so they're good.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere. But it's the if you're in the South, it'd be one of the rare Christmases that you won't be taking your pictures in short pants. Right? It's kind of exciting, right? You get to like pull out some sweaters and sweatshirts and actually look like it's Christmas, because it's supposed to get to I want to say that again, it keeps changing. They couldn't, like I said, they couldn't tell me 2 days ago in Boise what that it was going to snow all, like 2 hours before it started snowing all day. They didn't know it. But they're telling us that here, I think we'll get to like 20 degrees. I guess that looks like to be the coldest thing on either Wednesday.
Here's what won't get canceled: my daughter's swim practice.
Get in the water, babe. Well, there you go. Yeah, well, yeah. Well, and I got all kinds of. Next week's an annoying week, because I got stuff I have to get done as well. And dude, and nobody at work. It's just impossible, man. Just trying to, you just having to send email and doing stuff, and everybody's taking that. And I must hang. Well, I don't know if I hang with. It's amazing how many people I know who are flying to like tropical places for Christmas. I never grew up like.
No, and even if I like normal Christmas.
Yeah, I know. Me too. But two different friends of mine. This where I was at work, whatever, just randomly conversation. Oh yeah, we're leaving. Oh man, I hope the weather's okay. We're leaving next week. It's going to spend Christmas on whatever. I'm like,
yeah, maybe if I didn't have kids or any family to hang out with.
If you didn't have kids, you'd be like, no, you'd sit on your sofa. You'd enjoy the heck out of. I mean, people have lost the joy in doing nothing, right? I mean, just. I know I'm
good at it. I'm good at it.
I know, like you said, like, man, you so good at it, you won't even waste energy killing time. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, I am going to stare into space and be alone with my thoughts.
It's a thing of beauty.
That's same level. But like I said, with my old friend who would hold it till he got to work. I mean, that's doing it. Just sit there thinking, okay, if I can sit and think for the next 20 minutes, that's a third of an hour. What's my hourly rate?
Right.
These people are paying me to think. I didn't want to take a picture of it. I should have when I got to Boise, whatever night it was. So it's kind of cold, not terrible yet, but it's kind of cold. I walk outside. I'm trying to play that. I know I'm not all that far from the hotel, so I don't know if I want to do Uber or whatever. And I walk out, and I was shocked that Boise actually had cabs waiting. There was like 6-7 cabs, because I've been in some relatively decent sized airports.
How big is Boise?
It's not a huge place, but it's big enough. Like
it's a major university.
Right. And there's some big, like a little downtown area I was at. There's some big buildings. There's like big, big banks. There's like 4 or 5 big banks with their names
Mhm.
on buildings down there. So it's not a, you know, it's the biggest place around. That place is very, it's the country. But so I walk up to the cab line, and the first guy in line, okay, he's asleep. He is dead asleep in the cab. And I don't even know what to do. Like, do I knock on the window? And here's what I already know. I don't want this guy driving me. Dude's asleep. Like he I don't know what country he's from, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but he's wrapped up all kinds of weird. And I'm like, I'm not sure if that's like something to do with either religion or just a cold or what's going on. Yeah, we're not sticking the landings on these things anymore.
No, man. So
I think Zoom's messing with us. So wherever we were in this story, the guys.
we were talking about a guy sleeping in a cab.
Let me reiterate what I was talking about there. Yeah, dude's asleep. So I'm like, man, I don't want to get in the car with this guy. So I got to go to the next guy, older guy. And I'm like, hey, I'm pointing to the first cab saying he's asleep. So this other guy comes, oh, I'll go. Then as I'm doing that, I guess the guy woke up, and because the trunk pops up, he comes back, comes around. And then I almost felt like, I don't know this guy from Adam, but I almost felt like I had to apologize for, like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know, disturb you.
Well, not even that. It's like, and then I want to try to tell him, dude, I don't want to ride with you. Like, go get some coffee. Like, seriously, like, you asleep. You're literally asleep here. How tired are you? That's all I want to know. How tired are you as we get on these? I don't know if they were icy yet, but there's snow, but anyway, he wasn't that bad. He was, long story short, he wasn't terrible. But
reminds me, I was watching something the other night, and I think you'll appreciate this. Tell you, I've been watching Yellowstone. And there was this scene where somebody was bringing one of the cowboys, like, out of state. They were trying to, I don't know, get him to do something better or different. But so the dummy, kind of goofy cowboy asked the guy, said, hey, you're the only one who hadn't slept. You want me to drive? And the guy says, it's $150,000 truck. I'm the only person who drives this. And then he says, I'll tell you like I tell everybody else, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And he said, that's a line from the best movie ever. And the guy said, oh, really? What's that? He said, Roadhouse. And so the cowboy says, Roadhouse is the best movie ever? And then the guy, the funny part, he says, when I grow up, I want to be Sam Elliott with Patrick Swayze's hair. And then he said, God, I can't wait for the mullet to come back.
Man, listen, I don't. Sam Elliott had pretty good hair himself, though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Swayze, yeah. Sam Elliott is that guy. He's that guy that he's aged. He's aged well. He's Roadhouse. Now, my favorite is the line that they wanted it to be a catchphrase, I guess, but it never did. Remember when she's stitching him up, and she says, I forget what it was. The line was, "Pain don't hurt." Pain don't hurt. Right. That's right up there in the echelon with Cobra. You're the disease, and I'm the cure. Right.
So
the disease.
I laughed because I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I'm at my dad's house. We were watching a Saints game, and my dad was talking about Andy Dalton. He said, "You got the same name as that dude from Roadhouse."
There you go. Greatest movie ever.
And he said, Dalton. And I said, oh, you're right. All right, man.
Yeah, let's it's the week before Christmas. Let's not bring everybody down by talking about the Saints.
Really, I'm done.
I don't even know. So I don't know what's going to happen Sunday. So by the time this airs, they will have, I'm sure, done something stupid. And I just and again, I want to apologize again, y'all. Alvin Kamara is one of my running backs on my fantasy team. So I just knew this guy was just going to have a terrible year. But there you go. So blame that one on me.
No.
Blame it on me. My son. So my back in college son drove in. So he's here for a couple of weeks, and first time he does the drive on his own. Right. So that's always one of those things. It's about a 5.5, 6 hour drive and that was the time I told you before that he was supposed to come one day. We find out midday or late that day that no, I'm just going to come tomorrow. Thanks. Right. So he makes the drive the next day, and it does well. And of course, like all the way through. My mom will call, just checking. You know where he's at? He's yeah, yeah, yeah. And then my mother-in-law, same thing. Everybody's checking in because Beb is making the drive on his own, and which I'm
Is he
laughing at.
good with directions, or does he have to GPS
Horrible.
it?
He's horrific with directions. As a lot of kids are, as a lot of
Dude, my 23-year-old son lived his whole life in this area, and he can't drive to the store.
doesn't know
without
where
the
anything is.
GPS.
Exactly. So now, granted, I live in Houston, so it wasn't. We're kind of being a little bit cocky too. When I grew up, bruh, it's hard to get lost.
yeah. It's either high. If you got lost, you just crossed the bridge and went, whipped it back on Highway 308.
If you got lost in South Lafourche, dude, they shouldn't let you drive. I mean, that's just you going one way, and in our streets, you're getting freaking names, numbers. That's actually genius. I'll tell you what. That's whoever did that back in the day. That was the genius part of South Lafourche. Now, here's what we're gonna do, y'all. We got a that side to buy it. We got a this side to buy it. It's either LA1 or 308, and we're gonna number these streets. That's it.
Right. If I'm on street number 2 and you passing number 4, you done pass me up.
We don't have no Elm. No, we're not naming them after streets, after trees or famous people or your taunt now on your mama's side. These streets are gonna have numbers. And you always knew it was off when you have a different, like if there was actually a street with a name on it, you're like, oh, y'all made that up. Y'all made that up. That's not a real street. That's somebody. Don't give me that address. Give me the number. Give me the number. But anyway, so he did fine, but it's the same deal, right? So I talked to him the day before, and I'm just doing the dad stuff, right? Man, look. So before you leave, tires, make sure you have right, and tank up. You know what I mean? So, and because he's always like, oh, I'm good on gas. All right, it's fine. He's good on gas, and I thought he had. And then I do have the Life 360, so you kind of just monitor every now and then, like and so I'm probably going through my day, and probably every like 30 minutes, every hour or so, just kind of hit, see, just try. Yeah, he's doing okay. And actually, I have to track it. So he's getting gas probably an hour after he left, left home, and I'm like. So I didn't say anything, obviously, but later on, when he was here a couple of days later, I said, "So how are you on gas?" What he said, he stopped to get gas, beef jerky, and something else, like the true man making a drive. And I said,
"Some dip."
Might have been. I said, "Why'd you stop so early?" He said, "Well, no, we always have to stop once. I know we always hit at least one gas station on the way in." I said, "Yeah, but bro, that's time. But that's because we need gas. Like we always do that later."
Yeah. When you leave Thibodeau, stop at Schriever.
he probably
You're gonna need to get gas again.
He topped off his car probably at he probably had 7/8 of a tank or 3/4 of a tank. But it's like, yeah, I'm gonna stop and get my gas here. The other thing was, he stopped at the. Have you ever been to the Texas rest stop? The Texas when you cross over from Louisiana into Texas. So there's a nice welcome center, right? And then it has a pretty long wharf. It's out into the swamp, right? Just because, and it's not a quarter mile, but it's a good walk. It's a good, So he apparently stopped there, and he was there for a while. Like I just. Because that was the time my mom asked, like she'd call and she'd, how's he doing? I said, well, he's at the rest stop apparently right now, but I could tell he was walking he was out in the swamp area, right? So that's cool. So by the time again a couple of days later, he brings it up and we bring it up and he talks about the rest stop. I said, yeah, man, you were there for it. And he was talking like, yeah, it was cool. So what were you doing there? I was just enjoying nature, man. I was just walking around and saw some turtles and some alligators and then he said, yeah, it's just something I'd never seen before. And I'm like, and it's when you realize sometimes with your kids, I was like, dude, I promise you've been there at least 10 times. In your life, you have been on that at least 10 times. And no way. I'm telling you, we've been here for 20 years. I'm glad they were younger. We haven't been there in a while. Yeah. But we have all these memories we think our kids remember. Man, they don't remember jack. If you don't got a picture, and you forget about that, right? As you but I was just stunned. I was like, what are you talking about? I said, I bet you we got pictures around here somewhere of Thought that was my first time there. All right.
So it
Come
was
on over.
worth the stop until you stepped in.
Man, I guess I just, I was thinking that's part of what I was wondering. What are you doing walking around? You've been, but yeah, I can get it too. I mean,
No, you
but,
need a break. It's
then,
better than the store.
because everybody else, normally on that trip, they're all doing their own thing. I'm the one driving. I'm the one looking at stuff, right? But yeah, knock wood, made it back, and good to have the crew here. Now we got to do the stress thing of, okay, who bought presents for who? I mean, God bless my wife. I know she takes care of, I'm guilty of that. I mean, I am in charge every year of buying one gift, and I'm typically late on it.
I hadn't bought any yet.
Yeah.
Well, I take that back. I probably bought 10 a little while ago because I pressed checkout on the Amazon account where Joey had put all kind of stuff in the cart.
Oh God! So y'all play that game. She picks them, and then you just say, "Sure."
No, it's not for herself. It was just extra
okay.
stuff.
Okay.
And she wanted me to
We
sign
end up
off on it, I guess.
Here's what happened. You might do the same. Well, you probably now, I don't know how it was back in the day when your boys were younger, and now your daughter, and how that works out. But what we have over here, and it's a good thing, because I think my wife gets it from her mom, who is just crazy fair. Like, man, if like it might not be the same gifts you get, but everybody's dollar amount needs to be within, like, it needs to be tight. Like, nobody.
We're close, and I also go for the same number of gifts.
Okay, I don't know that we're that. Yeah,
Now I don't do that. So that's not with my older son. He's got his own stuff now. The one that's married.
Yeah.
But so the ones that are here when we open gifts, it's I want to go. I go, you got one, and we go back and forth. None of this crap are opening at the same time.
Well, what happens is it always escalates. So like we're kind of close, and then she'll realize, oh, this one got something that was cost more, so we got to even that out. So by the time then you even it out, but then you kind of overshoot, or you get something that's not quite there, so you got to get something, and that's the whole thing. And then and then it's on. I guess we kind of still do it. Although I think we did it last year because both boys were here last year. And it's sort of like when you're putting things out. Now, we didn't wrap gifts. So when I was a kid, I don't remember. I don't think
I don't think we did.
Our Santa Claus gifts weren't wrapped. Yeah, I don't think our Santa Claus gifts.
Joey, before we were married, she has a daughter from a previous marriage, my stepdaughter, and she would do that the gifts that came from her were wrapped, and the gifts that came from Santa Claus weren't wrapped.
Right.
My house, everything came from Santa Claus. so it's all wrapped.
Oh wait. Oh, it was all wrapped. I was about to say,
right. Yeah, no.
I thought y'all saved money on the paper.
No.
Which, so by the way, is ridiculous. Christmas paper is pretty dang expensive, man. I know. And now my wife will be hearing this saying, "How would you know? How would you freaking know what Christmas, But I know my wife does get excited when Dollar Tree gets, that's our kind of a go-to. Same thing with cards. Cards are always incredibly overpriced. Like if you just want to get a card.
Dude, I got enough wrapping paper in my attic that I could wrap your presents, my presents, your neighbor's presents, because we tend to not, and by we, I mean Joey, we don't, we're not going to use the same wrapping paper this year that we used last year.
Who remembers? I guess she does.
Yeah.
I guess she does. Wow. I wouldn't know. And that's the other thing. My wife is, she could have a part-time job wrapping at a place.
Yeah.
My wife.
Now, granted, random birthday comes up. Yeah. You're probably getting Christmas present, right? Or Christmas paper.
Christmas paper. Hey, look, whatever. No, but typically every year, the only really horrifically wrapped present around the tree is my wife's. Because I can't help it, man. It's just, there you go. I just put that one behind the tree. There you go.
Ours all are wrapped equally. Because I just put Joey's gifts that I buy in a box and tape up the box and give it to her to wrap.
Yeah. Well. Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember you shared that one time. That's a good way to do it. Of course, by that time.
This year the kids aren't going to be. yeah, the kids aren't going to be equal this year because we had, Riley's presence, and then that pop up of those Taylor Swift tickets, happened,
Mm.
and
So,
so,
so does she know?
uh,
Oh,
no,
it's still secret.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
just
so
counting that she doesn't watch this podcast.
yeah, so,
All right. All
um,
right. Just
yeah,
hide
she's
one
not
more
here now.
podcast. There you go.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm not going out and buy an extra gift for my son just to balance that out.
Suck it up, Buttercup. It's all good. It's all good. You get anything. If you get anything, be happy, y'all. Be happy. It's true. If I could possibly, we never do it though, right? Just say like, what do you want for Christmas? Nothing. I really don't want
Yeah.
nothing. Because my wife gave me grief, like these earbuds I have in right now. I just bought those a couple weeks ago. We talked about that, right? I was trying to, but the issue I had at Best Buy, and thankfully, I guess I mentioned something because she just gave me a face of, you went out and bought earbuds 2 weeks before Christmas or 3 weeks before Christmas. I'm like, yeah, thanks. And she apparently had bought me some. Whatever. I'm like, I just, it's one of those. I can wrap
those up and give them to somebody else.
Wrap these. Actually, I think, I don't think he's going to watch this. I think, yeah, exactly. One of my sons, it's like, he needs, he needs.
Well, I think part of the stuff is out of guilt too, because like, my wife wants stuff. And so if like she bought herself, I mean, because she Black Friday'd it, an Apple Watch. So she got an Apple Watch, which, then it becomes, she feels bad about that. So what do you want? Do you want an Apple Watch? It's like, no. If I wanted one, I'd have one. So it's just because you getting something doesn't mean I need. She feels
less guilty if you get
exactly.
Yeah.
So basically, she figures the more she gets me, the more she can justify wanting.
I got you. Yeah. But there you go. So we just hope everybody that's out there, hope you got something. If you don't got something, better luck next time. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. However you're gonna hope you have family with you. That's
Right.
the other thing.
The real present is your presence.
Did your preacher tell you that? Did you?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he says that.
Did you snappy preacher with the little
My rhyming pastor?
Your rhyming pastor.
Note takers. History makers.
Note takers are history makers. Let me reiterate that for y'all. Note takers. I'll give me a shirt that says, let me reiterate that for you.
Yeah.
But
I got one note I want to cover before we get out of here. And
I don't even know where we are.
But,
they didn't give us the flashing light yet. It's
But so I was driving down the road today. I had to take a quick trip to Gramercy.
Oh man, you living right.
I almost hit the levee to go see the bonfires, but I said I don't care about that. So
okay.
But I heard a song it had to be from the 70s. Don't Give Up on Us Baby.
Don't give up on us, baby.
By David Soul of AKA Starsky of
That's
Starsky
right,
and Hutch.
There you go.
Then I started thinking about how many of these guys were like
actually
one-hit
a good
wonders
song,
back in
but
the
actually
day.
that was actually,
yeah.
I as sappy as it. You go listen to that right now. Don't give up. He was good.
So I did a little research, see what's TV star from the 70s and 80s had some music hits.
Man, I'm sure there was some.
Bruce Willis, aka Bruno. Respect yourself.
Oh, that was so bad. That was so bad. It's funny. He was at the height of his popularity. I love me some Bruce Willis. I looked forward to the show. What I'm saying, he was as cool. Everybody wanted to be Bruce Willis, and that song was that bad. And when it came out, I mean,
like harmonica and everything on it.
I want to say we were in radio. I want to say I was either in college. It was either college or I might have been still on KBAU. But I respect yourself. It was one of the play some harmonica, Bruce. Yay, do that.
With this one, I don't remember. I remember the guy is a singer because he still is John Schneider.
Yeah.
Now or Never.
Now or Never. I want to say
he's got. I mean, he still does country stuff. He lives out here.
He sang. Well, I'm trying to,
And for
I'm not
those of you
gonna
who don't know,
remember it
that's
now. But who? What was his
Bo
song?
Duke.
He had some good stuff. Yeah, I mean, but he had John Snyder had some songs. But well, that's cool. Yeah.
So
What else you
how
got?
about this? Following suit of Rick Springfield, Jack Wagner, aka Frisco Jones,
Frisco
on
Jones.
General Hospital.
What was his?
All I Need.
That was a massive hit. It is. It didn't. It doesn't hold up, right? I mean,
No, it was one of those sappy,
all I need it's just a little more. Maybe it does hold up. I don't know. I'm like, let me take that back.
Then the one that I know Don Johnson.
Oh, buddy, if you weren't going to bring it up, I was gonna. I mean, that was the ultimate. That's the guy, Heartbeat, with that cheesy video, man. He's a photographer. He's a photographer, man. Don Johnson. They couldn't throw enough stuff at him. Wait, no.
That was in the height of Miami Vice. Yeah, the soundtrack that everybody in radio used for production work.
Oh, you ain't lying, right? Oh yeah, man. Yeah, everything sounded the same. Everything. Yeah. Well, good times, man.
TV heartthrobs making music.
Good times. Good. Can't believe John Stamos never had a song. I guess he didn't, right?
Dude, he might have.
He played with the Beach Boys.
Right, which was cheesy to begin with.
Poorly. Yeah, he played poorly with the Beach Boys. While we're talking about that, yeah, and I'm bad this way. I'll hear a song that I remember and think, and then I just get hooked on it again. And I got to play it like 1,000 times to purge it from because I'll go days where I just can't get this song out of my head. I'm in Kansas City or something a couple of weeks ago, and late TV commercials on. I think it was a Volkswagen commercial. I don't know if I talked to you about that. It came on and it was you got to sing your own. Make your own music. What's it called? Mama Cass had a hit with it. Make your own kind of music. Hang on a sec here.
Yeah. Make your own kind.
Dude. I started. I'll bet you. And when I say this, between being on an airplane and in the gym and whatever, and this is the version they played on the Volkswagen commercial. Remember this? Here comes. One song worth singing. Hey, listen. It's got that Barry Manilow feel to it, right? Big crescendo, right? Because my wife didn't remember until here comes the hook.
But it's funny because you talk about the big hook in that whole formula of music. It still happens today. Sure. This girl who I think she maybe just made 18, lived in the neighborhood where I used to live. The kid is phenomenal. She's out living in LA now and got signed by Capitol, and released a song today. She's got like literally 1 million like TikTok followers. From Prairieville, Louisiana. But so right. Mom posted it on Facebook. All right, let me check it out. And it's got that. It's like, okay, it starts off kind of here. And I said, oh man, there's a big build up and a crescendo coming.
There you go, man.
And boom. There it is.
Boom. I've been annoying people, I'm sure, on planes and in hotels because I'm walking around whistling. And I don't think anybody knows or remembers the song, right? But it's just stuck, man.
That would be a good commercial. You walking around and then all of a sudden people following you singing along. I might have to come up with a product to pitch that to.
Let's go back and do one for KBAU. What the heck, man? I mean, like in the old days, man. Go dust off Don. Where's Don? He's got to be around here somewhere. Yeah. I'm sure he's got days free. He's in a play or something.
Right. Don's retired, man. He's got time.
Damn. Yeah, my son's by the time this guy, it's almost like, so his my oldest that's been in the theater here, their run of Cinderella is closing, I guess, in a little over a week. But I think they will end up having done something like 70 something performances. Bro, I know. I'm like, you know, there you go though. A lot of stage time. Good for.
Does he get to keep that coat, a jacket from his costume? 'Cause
Oh,
That's
I
pretty. That's
hope.
a pretty cool looking
That'd be
jacket, man. I
cool. I
saw the
know.
pictures of that.
I know. I said that the other day. I was somewhere talking. It might have been in Kansas City when it was in the afternoon, and I had afternoon performances here. And I do a little thing at the beginning of most of my presentations. I kind of make a joke about it. And I put some family stuff up there just real quick. And the joke is always I use family in my presentations for tax purposes. And 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 I had the thing about and then I put it up there, and there's a picture of him and it's the young lady next to him, and he's got on that frilly, the Cinderella kind of deal. And I said, yep. I said, so I'm not the only member of my family standing on a stage right now. I said,
Yeah.
I'm not dressed like that. No, that's he wins for attire on a stage right now. But
It looked pretty cool, man. So you're talking about taxes. I got a note from Venmo this week.
no.
Yeah. You're supposed to apply. You're supposed to pay taxes on stuff you get on Venmo. I guess if it's over, I don't know if it's cumulatively over $600.
I don't know.
But so the controller at our where I work, she's also a CPA. So I went and asked her about that the other day, and she said it's so confusing that it's one of these self-reporting deals. Like they used to do in sales tax.
They're counting on you.
Right. I was like, oh yeah, that's happening. So I clicked on the link they sent me, and it's basically I'm supposed to provide my tax information, voluntarily, so that they can give it to the IRS.
Yeah,
But
because
not happening.
again, this will be the third or fourth time this episode. I'll remind everybody, they're all lying. Okay. Right. They always come back and say, man, we're not going after, we're hiring 80 something thousand new agents, and we're not good. We're going after the rich people.
Yeah.
If you make less than $400,000 a year, you don't got it. Well, you don't have to worry about this. And the next thing
if this holds
like,
true, right? If this holds true, my son would have to pay taxes on money I sent him for rent.
Yeah, that's exactly, that's the thing. They tell you one thing, and then like, yeah, it's only gonna be rich people. But by the way, if you got more than $600 on Venmo, we're coming at you. Seriously, seriously.
So I bought LSU season tickets. I sold them to somebody for the exact same thing that I paid for them.
Yep.
She paid me through Venmo, so I would have to pay taxes on that.
Or
I didn't make a dime.
No.
I could have, but I didn't.
I know. No, that's my favorite thing. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Go off the grid, bro. Yeah. Cash. We said this before. The older I get, the more fond I am of cash money, and it's in a place that doesn't want to take cash annoys me. Right. It's like, no, here's what I like about cash. Nobody knows what just happened right here. Nobody know, hey, that beer I just bought. There you go. That whatever. Yeah.
At my office Christmas party last week, they do a cash raffle. And basically, you buy a ticket for $1, and then the company will match it and draw a ticket at the end. And I guess the company or the owner must bring cash. The prize was $1,500. They gave it to a guy in basically like a little convenience store bag. And I said, bro, we're in downtown Baton Rouge. I don't know if I'd be walking out of here with that.
A bag full of cash. This episode of Sopranos, man.
Yeah. All ones.
Yeah, exactly. Show up to the bank. They can't wait to see you. I got a Walmart bag of money. I would like to
not suspicious looking at all.
To deposit, but cash is a good gift. Cash is a good gift too, guys. It's just do a lot of ones. It looks like a lot more. Like I don't know.
Swear to you, my mother-in-law does that. She
Really?
gives she gives all her grandkids cash, and she may give them 50, and the outside's a 20, and there's 31s in that stack.
Come on, man. That's it's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
It's the thought. There's the thought that counts. That's how I am right now. Like, honestly, but I always want to carry a bunch of ones in my wallet anyway, because when you're traveling, it's always tipping. I always feel bad about, right? So that's the go-to move, man. Give me a stack. That's fine. And then it's like trying to figure out, okay, is this a $2 tip or a $1 tip? Or is this one maybe a $3 tip?
And then what do you do if all you got's a 20?
I usually ask them, you got change? And if they don't got change, it might be out of luck, you know, but
I'll do stuff where I say, hey, I'll give you 5 if you got change. Because I ain't giving them a $20 bill.
Oh yeah. That's when you do the just exactly. He's like, I know I look like I'm loaded. I know I act like, I know you assessing me that I am just no.
Maybe I am, but you ain't getting loaded on me.
You ain't you ain't getting $20 for handling that bag. That's a hotel I checked out of. I don't normally do this, but it was like where I was speaking was just like a block and a half from the hotel I was at, and so I'm leaving, and I guess they might have been training some people. So I'm checking out, and I just tell the guy, I said, can I check a bag? I don't think he knew what check a bag meant. Okay, so I'm like, this was okay. Thankfully, he brought somebody else over, and I made sure I wasn't checking my bag with my computer and my car keys. That one I kept with me, but it's my suitcase with clothes and stuff in it. And they gave me the tag. Great. So I tipped the young lady, and so I thought they were just gonna, they were gonna pull it back there. And I showed up 2-3 hours later. My suitcase is basically in the lobby, man. I mean, like anybody coming off the elevator, he would have just said, let me see if there's some suits in here.
Apparently, they're not worried about suspicious packages left unattended.
I'm like, man, Boise's crime rate must be incredibly low. Because and no Biden administration head of nuclear waste apparently.
That was an interesting.
We're not going down.
No.
Such a shock that guy ended up committing felonies. Such a shock. Who'd have thought it? Who'd have freaking thought it?
I just like that he stole like a Vera Bradley bag.
Tell you what. All right, y'all. Let's put a bow. Let's
a Christmas bow on this one.
Push the button. Get on out of here. And there you go, America. It's there. Pick and choose.
There for the
find some
taking.
stuff. Did
Your
what we
Christmas
could.
feast.
If you guys get bored over the next week or two and you want to reach out, it's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com, and
and everywhere and anywhere, social media, anywhere you can find podcast streaming, we're there. As Dave said, if you get bored, go to the YouTube channel or go to click on one of the podcasts. They got 91 other ones behind it. 91 or 93? 90, no, 90.
92
other ones. 92. This one's 93.
Man, just piling up there, man. Just piling up there. So so go ahead, do that. We got this week. Got to wrap some pipes. Got to cover some tender vegetation. I get break out the BBDs though. I can wear my long johns finally. I'm all excited. I get to go get the real warm clothes. It's gonna be nice. Hopefully Texas won't shut our power off like it did.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out.
You might want to take Dave's son's note and go ahead and top off that Tesla now, just in case.
Jeez, if you got a Tesla, better be charging that puppy right now. Right now. All right. So we probably going to catch you guys in another couple of weeks. We may throw something together real quick, just a tidbit. Christmas, we got a lot of stuff going on. So we may just take a
little break.
Might take a little break during Christmas week and hit you up there for New Year's. Got to figure that one out. When does New Year's fall this year? It falls on a Sunday. New Year's Eve is on a Sunday. Also, it'd be
New Year's Eve is on a Saturday. New Year's Day is on the Sunday.
Okay. We'll probably do one. We'll probably hit you with a New Year's edition there.
Come up with our resolutions.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna reiterate my resolutions and take care. We're gonna take care of that.
First thing I'm doing when we're out of here is I'm looking up reiterate.
It's a word by now. I'm not even going to go down the path. We're too late into this to talk about the word, the new definition that was it Merriam-Webster? Yeah. Oh yeah. So if you can redefine the stuff they're redefining, hey, bro, reiterate is going to be a word. It's going to be a word. I'm going to get that done. But hey, everybody, have a very Merry Christmas, and hope you get to spend it with those you love, those you kind of love, even the ones that annoy you. Man, chill. Play along.
Just enjoy talking to somebody else about that.
Christmas spirit. Christmas spirit. Appreciate the fact that you have family to be annoyed with. Okay.
That's right.
All right. That's a blessing. One day they're not going to be there to be annoyed at. You got it, right? All right. So y'all do that. I hope it works out for everybody. Hope everybody has a very, very merry one. And yeah, we're going to probably catch you in the new year.
In the new year.
We're going to
See you
catch you
next year, bro.
New. Hey, new. We're going to catch you in the new year. You ought to have a shirt made with that. The new. Hey, new.
Yeah.
It's a new year. No, that's not actually as funny as I thought it was going to be. So all right. We out of here. Love you, bro. Merry Christmas,
Back
y'all.
at you, man.
I saw something today that made me laugh, and it was one of these charts, like, and the chart said level of happiness. Level of happiness. And the bottom one was age, and then the line was, and it was like a slope up. Happiness and getting socks as a gift. Christmas socks as a gift. And I was like, that's true. Like later on in life, I could use some socks. Thank you. That's
Let me tell you something, man. Yeah, I've been having to go to the old underwear recently. Either Joey's not doing laundry as much, or the newer ones are getting old. So I'm sitting there saying, all right, I'm not going to buy any.
Hook me up. I will light up like the Christmas tree on Christmas morning. Cool, I got some new consoles.
Yeah, so
I like this. Consoles with good elastic. That's
exactly.
What you want.
That's what you get. Yeah.